Hi everyone, and welcome to a less themed reading vlog than the couple of other ones that I've had uploaded so far. So this one I'm going to be looking at Kindle first books and reading and reviewing a couple of those. Each month, if you've got Amazon Prime, you can pick currently one, I think it is, book to read for free on your Kindle. And there's usually a selection. It started off with a selection of like 4 books back in the day, but now it's a selection of like 6 to 8 books, and there's actually quite a few to choose from. And it's a bit like, oh, I don't know what to pick. So in this video, I'm going to be reading and reviewing the book that I picked in August, which means that it gets published in September in the more traditional way, so you can read and buy that from September onwards. And then I will also be picking the book that you can pick for free in September, so I'll be showing you what the selection is when I get to that point, and also sort of talking you through the titles and trying to work out which one to pick, because I have had a brief look already and I'm torn between a few this month, so it's going to be tricky. But yeah, I'll be looking at those with you, and then when I've picked one, I will read and review that one too. So if you do have Prime and you haven't yet picked a book for this month, you could use my review to help you pick. Or you then know what you can buy in October yourself when you come to buy. So yeah, I just thought that this would be a bit different rather than just going down my sort of always down a specific theme route. I want to do some that are a bit more vague reading vlogs too. So the first book that I picked, I've forgotten the name of it. Luckily, I've got my Kindle. Yes, so the first book that I'm going to be reading and reviewing in this vlog for you is The Other Girl by C.D. Major. This currently has 210 ratings, and out of that it is averaging at 4.5 stars, so that's looking really promising. But I did go for pretty much the most popular book that was kind of going around for this in August. Like, this was the one that everyone seemed to pick, everyone was raving about it, so yeah, I'm really excited to give this a go. It says a typical time to read is 4 hours and 28 minutes. And if you can excuse the 10 ton of dust that is probably going to show up on my Kindle, there is the cover. All I know is that this represents an asylum because there's some sort of fire there, and that this is set memory in the 1930s or possibly 1940s. I don't know whether it also has flashbacks to current day. Let's face it, I don't remember what this book is about at all, but I'm about to get stuck into reading it, and I will update you when I know more. Okay. So already straight away the prologue is just like bizarre. So it's just like listed things that she is. So it says, I'm Edith, I'm a patient, I'm a loony, I'm a woman, I'm innocent, I'm guilty, I used to be someone else, I'm a victim, I'm a villain, I lie, I tell the truth. Whatever I do, it always ends the same way. I'm Edith, I'm a patient, I'm a loony. That's the prologue. So I don't even begin to know where this is going to move on from here. But then it says chapter 1 now. Seacliff Lunatic Asylum, the 8th of December 1942. So I had remembered the setting almost correctly. So we're looking at 1942 for this. So I've just finished chapter 1, and that update that we've got there that said now, that was 1942, that's where the fire has started. So the fire starts as like the now kind of part of the plot, and then chapter 2 moves on to before, and this bit is set in summer of 1927. So it looks like we're going to be flitting between 1927 and 1942. I knew there was 2 time periods, I just couldn't think what they were. So I'm glad to finally have that bit sort of worked out. So this is a completely different update to what I expected to be doing. I read to 5% the other day when I was updating you, which is the beginning of chapter 4. Then I realised I really wasn't in a reading mood. That was... what day are we on? That was Monday. It's now Saturday and I haven't picked this up at all, so I think for the sake of 5% I'm gonna have to restart the book because I don't remember anything. This is my third time restarting this book as well at this point, as I'd actually started this book originally before even filming the first clip and then hadn't picked it up for quite a few days and so restarted. So now I'm restarting again, but I just wasn't in the right frame of mind to read. I've got some stuff going on and I just wasn't there for it. But tonight is a Saturday night and I've got the night to myself. I'm not seeing Luke tonight like I normally would. I'm just having a nice chilled cozy reading night. So I'm gonna try, because I think I think my Kindle predicted that it would take me about just over 4 hours to read this book. I'm going to try and read this book all in one sitting tonight. And I will try and keep you updated, but we all know how terrible I am at remembering to do that. So it might be tomorrow or even later at this point before I do update you. But yeah, I'm hoping to just knock this out in one sitting. A nice Saturday thrilling read where I can get totally hooked into this properly. I feel like I remember a little bit of what was going on, but yeah, for the sake of 5%, I'd rather just restart, I think, again. So that's my plan. So it's next morning and I didn't finish the book last night. Are we surprised? Of course we're not surprised. So to update you, I made it to about 30%. I've been reading a little bit this morning too, and I'm now at 37%, which is chapter 19. And I have a theory. I'm not going to share my theory because it would be spoilery, but I think I know what's going to come of all this. There are some bits I can't fully predict for the past, but even there I've got some ideas. And the then bit with the fire and everything, I feel like I know. I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong, because as I said, I'm only 37% in, so to have it sussed this early would be a bit sad. Also, this isn't like some sort of nail-gripping, really fast-paced thriller. This is like really slow burn, quite quiet, very slow and steady, very atmospherically built. And the character development side has only just started to really come around for me, and that bothered me a little bit. But that's probably just because I've been so reading slumpy and I really wanted something fast-paced. Story-wise, it's not really doing anything wrong. It's just, it isn't the pace I need right now. But I can't criticise the book for being something else, because when you're in the mood for this, this would be amazing. So yeah, I have been struggling a little bit. And so I've been a bit on off with the reading even last night, which is why I didn't get as far as I wanted to get. But I'm hoping today I can really kind of pull that back and get this finished, so we shall see. Hi everyone, so I didn't finish the book yesterday, but I've just finished it today. Oh my goodness. So first of all, I want to quickly say that I rated this book 3 stars on Goodreads. I don't use half stars normally, but for this one I really want to. It just wasn't quite a 4 star for me, but it's definitely better than a 3 stars. So this book, 3.5 stars, definitely. Would highly recommend, even though my earlier prediction of thinking that I knew what direction it was all going to go, I got it like all right. There were a few different threads going on there and I managed to get it all That's not why I've given it 3.5 stars though. I actually just continually had issues with the pacing, and it just therefore didn't hold my attention. If it had held my attention that bit more, it would have easily been a 4-star read, and I'd have probably been debating whether to give it 4 or 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed my time with it when I could make myself pick it up. So while I was reading that book as well, I just got such strong American Horror Story asylum vibes, like incredibly so. It was just awful. The fact that asylums like that existed at the time, and that's probably quite realistic, maybe not quite the exciting side of the plot of it, but that's quite realistic treatment of the people that live there. It's just like, oh my goodness. And I did read as well at the end of the book, the author had got a little like author's notes section where she was talking about where the idea from the book came from. I won't tell you about one of those bits because it would spoil something in the book, but one of the other bits covered is the fact that Seacliff, which is the asylum named in the book, is actually based, like, it was an actual real asylum, and it really did burn down, and many women really did die in this fire. So yeah, I liked that it was grounded into some sort of level of truth, even though some of the plot gets a little bit out there. I quite liked that. Yeah, my thoughts with this one are that so far, 1 out of 1, that was a good read. I enjoyed it. It didn't cost me anything. It was well worth picking up. I'm sure it's probably 99p on Amazon by now, so if you did want to check it out, it's definitely worth 99p in my opinion too. So yeah, that's all done with then. I'm going to be moving on to my next one, but I've not actually picked the book yet, so let's have a little look and see what I can pick between. Okay, so this is what I'm looking at for this month. I've not actually really properly looked. I gave it a quick glimpse, but that was it. So we've got Every Missing Thing by Martin Ford, which is a thriller. Millicent Glenn's Last Wish, which is kind of book club fiction. The Unspoken by Ian K. Smith, which is a police procedural. Roommaid by Sarah Wilson, which is a contemporary romance. A Single Swallow by Zhang Ling, which is literary fiction. Oh, we've got The Haunting of H.G. Wells by Robert Masello, which is a supernatural thriller. And then we've also got these two. So there's Welcome to the United States of Anxiety, which is a non-fiction book by Jen Lancaster. And we've got a children's picture book, That Monster on the Block, which looks kind of cute, but I won't be picking it. I won't be picking either of those two. I think I'm torn between the thriller, the contemporary romance, and the supernatural thriller. So I'm going to look into those a little bit more and then get back to you. I'm really torn between these three books just because I'm not sure what I'm in the mood for after finishing that last book. So to look at the thriller Every Missing Thing, it says 1 family, 2 missing children, a lifetime of secrets. It's got 662 ratings and averaging at 4 stars. That's not bad, but is it just going to be really stereotypical thriller? I'm not sure I'm in the mood for that if it is. Meanwhile, the romance, which is maybe something I'm in the mood for, maybe. It says from bestselling author Sariah Wilson comes a charming romance about living your life one dream at a time. That's got 958 ratings and is at 4.5 stars, which suggests most people probably went for this one. And then we've got The Haunting of H.G. Wells, which is the least amount rated at 512 ratings, but this one's also got 4.5 stars. And it says a plot against England that even the genius of H.G. Wells could not have imagined. This one's usually probably most up my street, but because of the book I've just read, I'm just not sure that I'm in the mood for this one. I really might be needing the romance for a bit of light-hearted loved-upness. Oh, I don't know. Might have to go and look at some reviews. Very much run-of-the-mill romance, don't expect Sophie Kinsella level. Pleasant but uninspiring. Oh, I don't know. Your choice really can make or break. Meanwhile, what are you saying in the reviews? Just sort of looking at the reviews of all of them now. Underwhelming. Doesn't always work. Fascinating story. I wonder if, because I've been struggling with this reading slump a bit, whether I'd just struggle no matter which one I go for, and so therefore I should just go for the genre that's calling to me right now, which is some romance. But then if I pick the thriller, I can make this like a thriller comparison video. Well, that doesn't need to be what this is. This can be two totally different books. Of course it can. To look deeper into the romance, Madison Huntington is determined to live her dreams. That means getting out from under her family's wealth and influence by saying no to the family business, her allowance and her home, but on a teacher's salary the real world comes to a rude awakening, especially when she wakes up every morning on a colleague's couch. To get a place of her own without cockroaches, mould or crime scene tape, Madison accepts a position as a roommate in exchange for a free room and board. All she needs to do is keep her busy roommate's penthouse clean and his dog company. So what if she's never washed a dish in her life? She can figure this out, right? So this, yeah, I can see where the Sophie Kinsella expectation comes in, because it's a little bit like the undomestic goddess, I guess. Madison is pretty confident she can fake it well enough that Tyler Roth will never know the difference. You know what? I'm now intrigued to find out whether it has gone down a kind of undomestic goddess route or whether it can stand on its own. And I probably will end up comparing it a little bit to Sophie Kinsella's writing, but whatever. I'm going to go with this one. Choice made. I'm going for Roommaid by Sariah Wilson. So there really is nothing better than that feeling that you have picked correctly. I am about to start chapter 4, which is 12% in, and I think it's just going to take me about 4.5 hours to finish this book. And oh my goodness, I can tell that it's not going to be anything amazing. Like, it's not going to be the best book I've ever read. It's not going to be a favourite, but it's not bad by any means. My prediction is it'll be a 4-star read. It was just so easy to get into, so easy to just get to know the characters and just feel into the story already. Like, I'm having a fantastic time. So far we've got to know the main character, and she's been looking at different apartments with her aunt, and yeah, they're all pretty awful. One of the ones they were looking at, someone had actually been murdered there, and she was like, I'm not living here. And then she was like, I do have this one other option, and it was that this guy who owns a penthouse wanted someone to live in and be his maid and look after the dog, and in return would get to live there for free. So this woman is a teacher, right? The main character is a teacher, so she's going to have to work around her teaching hours to do that. But that's not a problem, I'm sure. That's not something that's been mentioned, so I'm sure that he won't be expecting ridiculous amounts of cleaning from her, but she has no clue. She's actually from a really rich background, and they disowned her. Like, her family have disowned her because she didn't want to be part of the family business. She wanted to do something for herself. So she's the first female of the family to, like, get a driving license, for example. She went to university and studied what she wanted to study rather than what her parents wanted her to study, which she wanted to do teaching. And she's now a qualified teacher. Her family have disowned her. Her boyfriend, almost fiance, who's some really rich man, has not spoken to her in ages, so she's assumed that they're very off right now. Either way, she's told the guy whose penthouse she's moving into, who's called Tyler, she's told him that she is still taken for, because he didn't want a woman moving in if it was going to be someone who would end up fancying him. So yeah, it's just a lot of fun. I feel like it's a very typical kind of book. It's very typical contemporary women's fiction, romancy kind of book. But there's not always something wrong with that. Like, sometimes that is exactly what you need, and I need this book right now. It's just going to be such a quick, easy book that will help pull me out of the kind of slumpiness I've had going on the last week or so. So yeah, I've picked well. I've definitely picked very well. Don't you just love it when you realise you've hit the right book at the right time? So as I think I mentioned in my last update, this was definitely the book for me. What I haven't mentioned, because I've not felt like filming and I've not had time to film when I have felt like filming, is that I actually managed to read this book in less than 24 hours because I picked it up before bed the other night and literally stayed up till 5:30 in the morning reading it. It was fantastic. It was exactly what I needed. So this was a week ago and I gave this book 5 stars. It blew me away. It was definitely one of those right book, right time kind of moments for me. I don't think it's necessarily a 5-star read for everyone. I definitely don't think that. It was just exactly what I wanted, exactly what I needed, and did exactly what it was meant to do, which was entertain me. I had moments where I was giggling out loud. I also had moments where I was actually crying my eyes out, which seems to be a trend for me this year with picking up romancy kind of novels that make me cry. So yeah, it made me a complete mess, which meant that it had to get 5 stars from me, obviously. I'm hoping that I said in a previous update what this book was about, since I haven't checked the footage that I'd filmed from a week ago. And yeah, I've got a feeling I did. So to carry on with that idea, so obviously romance ensues, but it's a very slow burn. It's more about friendship for a long time, and I loved the friendship element. I also loved the dog element. The dog in this book is just adorable, and I want a dog. And thought that it's a rescue dog, and that gets brought up occasionally and explains why she acts how she is in certain situations is just all the more adorable. A great book for dog lovers because the dog does feature a lot. A great book for people looking for a contemporary romance that will give them a bit of giggles and then make them cry. And just a great book to pick up as your Kindle first selection if you haven't yet picked one, because you've still got, oh, what's the date today? At least a day or so to pick. So yeah, I am really pleased with my choice for this month, and I'll be doing this video for future months, so let's see how I get on with those months. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe by clicking the image of me if you want to see more book views and other bookish content from me, and I will see you soon. Bye bye!